Okay, if you watched our extremely long review from yesterday,
That wasn't the plan.
I know it wasn't almost 2 hours long. Obviously, stay the hell away from the right kind of wrong in every single way possible. I will say that obviously you see we have another superhero movie. And it seems like every single time we get a superhero movie, we have to do this because obviously superhero movies are things you have to talk about without having any boundaries. And that's the reason why this exists. So we're going to do another spoiler alert, and we're going to talk about X-Men Days of Future Past. So, AJ, take it away.
I'm still getting used to these videos, so I'm still never quite sure where to actually start on them.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing, I could have talked about this in the other video, I guess, but I didn't know exactly how spoiler would be, because I don't really know how much people already know going in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because some people like to find out everything before they go in, and then some people are, like, totally blind. So, my first concern, I think the last video started with that, too.
Yeah, I believe it did.
So the first concern is how much Singer took advantage of being able to use the time travel stuff to fix the continuity errors in the series, amongst other things. It seems like some things there was kind of irreparable damage from stuff that, like, Origins did, because there's still some stuff in Origins that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact that Emma Frost is in it, and that, I don't know if this was ever actually confirmed or not, but I was always under the impression that because of the 3 Mile Island reference, Origins was set in 79.
Maybe.
But, that makes the timeline pretty fucked up. So, I'm not sure. But then again, I don't know if it was actually confirmed if Origins takes place in 79 or not.
Emma Frost is mentioned in the movie.
Well, that's the thing here is, actually I'll get to that in a minute. That's even more confusing when you learn something later, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's one of those where more of these will be answered. Maybe it's something I missed. I don't know, because this movie has a lot to take in.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I'm real fucking sorry if I missed something. Don't, lose anything. It does explain, I was concerned about, there's a really, really quick scene in X2 where we see Hank on a TV in, like, a bar, and he looks normal. Because I was under the impression that back in 1962, when he accidentally altered himself into Beast, he pretty much just looked like that. Because obviously, in The Last Stand, he never changed his appearance. Mm. I was under the assumption he was stuck that way. Maybe he's, like, supposed to be, and this was their, maybe this whole thing was to fix that little tiny continuity error in X2, or not.
He's the Incredible Hulk.
Once again, let me explain this one more time. Never picked up an X-Men comic book in my life. I only know it by the movies. And from what people have told me.
I know from the animated series, actually.
But the serum that Hank gives, we talked about this in the other video. Maybe this is the only video you're watching, so I'll say it again. Which you already know this, because it's a spoiler video, but...
Yes.
Obviously, they fix that because Hank has the serum where he can suppress the Beast side of him.
Dr. Banner.
Yeah, which we can assume is what he was doing in that news interview we saw him on in X2.
Yeah.
Something still I'm not quite sure about. The opening of The Last Stand is, like I said, a lot of people said Origins and The Last Stand were going to be the ones that kind of really fucked up the timeline and they may not be able to fix everything, because some people thought they were just going to be thrown to waste to begin with. The opening scene of The Last Stand is them going to Jean Grey's house when she's a little girl, Xavier and Magneto. And this is before... Well, no, because I think Xavier used... Well, you know what? Actually, I don't know now. Yes, I'm pretty sure Xavier used his powers at the beginning of The Last Stand, so this is still kind of lost on me. Obviously, we still don't know exactly what happened to Xavier's hair yet at the end of this movie. So it's a little questionable that when they appear at the beginning of The Last Stand, Charles and Eric are together and working together. Charles is already bald and walking. So that's something that still wasn't quite fixed, unless I missed something. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure... you could say maybe he was using the serum. I don't know why in this case, but of all things, because when they go to Gene's house later in the movie, he just uses the wheelchair. But
and he does in this movie as well as we progress towards the end of the movie.
we get this big. It was like the reveal of Kirk's chair at the beginning in Abrams' first Star Trek movie. I'm curious about that. This may be another thing I missed, but I was curious about. Apparently, there's a whole big fucking debacle about the bone claws. Because when you look at the other movies, there's kind of a continuity issue with the bone claws. Now, for starters, you can say the bone claws shouldn't be in this movie because they came in Origins, and then the Wolverine brought them back, and obviously he uses them in this because he goes back to '73, before the adamantium. So the question is, when you say the bone claws shouldn't be in the movie, everybody throws a fucking hissy fit because the bone claws are from the comics.
Yeah,
I have heard that. But then the other argument is, in X2, Stryker claims to have given him the claws. He didn't have anything before the adamantium claws. Because Stryker has the line, you were already an animal when I found you, I just gave you claws. I suppose you could take that just as Stryker taking a little too much credit, or speaking figuratively. But
and Stryker does show up in this movie as well.
Yeah, I was getting to that. And we basically keep up the bone claws thing now, because they brought him back in the Wolverine. At the end of that's another thing I was curious about. That's why I brought the bone claws up. Once again, I may have missed something, or maybe something that's to be revealed later. I don't know. But if I remember correctly, the ending of the Wolverine. I actually haven't watched the Wolverine since we saw it over almost a year ago in July, but. It ended with them cutting his claws off, which brought him back to the bone claws. When they grew back. Because he pulls them out at the airport, I'm pretty sure, in the after-credits scene. But when we see Wolverine again for the first time in this movie, he's got the metal claws back. Mind you, they looked a little different, so I don't know. Once again, this is a non-comic, not humongous fan of the movies person theorizing, so
you're just a critic. So
if there is all kinds of answers to this, okay.
Leave a comment. Just be gentle.
Be calm.
Just be gentle about things.
Settle down. Now, another question I would have liked to have known the answer of was answered very effectively, and I was very I was kind of glad how much this actually tied into the story, because it's basically the whole story. The whole reason that she wants to assassinate Trask is because he was experimenting on mutants and they were killed. Because when we're looking, when I went back and rewatched First Class, I had an epiphany again, because I was thinking, the movie ends with him saying, call me Magneto, and he's got his army with him. He's got Emma Frost, and he's got Azazel, and he's got an Angel. And I was thinking, where the fuck are they? We found out where the fuck they are.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
So I thought that was a really good explanation as to what happened to them. I don't know if that was always the plan, or if it was just the, we gotta do something with them because they're not in the later movies.
It could have been a throwaway line there, too, if you really don't look at it from that perspective, because it seemed like it just came and went without really registering very much what you actually heard.
Which can also be kind of confusing when you refer to Angel, because I think that's also Ben Foster's character's name in The Last Stand. So, okay. Well, I think we're supposed to believe Angel is her real name, and Angel was his mutant name. I forget what his real name was. He was the
Archangel.
No, never mind.
I know what you're talking about.
And yeah, we get young Stryker in this movie, and I love it because as soon as he walked in, was this the scene that was attached to Spider-Man?
Yes.
Okay. Which I didn't see. That's why I have no idea. But as soon as he walked, I think it's kind of a reveal. I was having the same problem I had with Bucky as the Winter Soldier. I'm like, there's a big reveal. Are we supposed to know that it's him? I think we're supposed to know that it's him from the get-go, because it's
obvious.
He's very and I kind of like how they kind of called back to Origins a little bit over X2, because he seemed a lot more like a young Danny Houston than a young Brian Cox.
Yeah.
So, And that's the reason he was the cause for, he's the one that fucked up Wolverine's time, because basically that sent him flashbacks to getting the adamantium, and then that made him confused as to where the fuck he was.
Yeah.
And there's that really, really great scene. Jackman was really good with his delivery, and it really just... the way it sets up all the other movies, where he just... young Charles asks him what happened and what's wrong with him. And talking about Stryker, he just says, the dude that was just in this room is going to bring me a lot of pain. And that's a great kind of build up to his character.
Definitely.
Now, as far as the big ending, which is great, this ingenious scene where Magneto basically decides he's going to... This is also for the people that just want it spoiled that didn't watch the movie. For you impatient people going, I'm watching a spoiler video, I know what you're talking about. This magnificent scene where Magneto picks up an entire stadium.
Yes.
And then places it around the White House to trap him inside. Because I just love how this is the most evil we've ever seen Magneto.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is darker than any of the places Ian McKellen went. Which I suppose we'll find out with in later stories if he still does or not. And the action, like I said, even though it was giving me huge Matrix vibes, this whole ending action scene is great. And the whole... when they all start... I mean, there's always that thing. And it's a complaint I've had for a long time. And people often get pissed off at me for it because, that's the way they are. Nobody fucking stays dead in an X-Men movie.
No.
And it kills... I mean, I'm not... Oh, okay. Maybe this is one reason why I don't like them as much as other superhero movies. But, I always feel the suspense is totally dead in X-Men movies. Because whenever it seems like they're doing something really gutsy and ballsy and killing off a main character, you know that character's never staying dead. Nobody, literally, after this movie, nobody that died before is dead now.
Nope.
So, except for, some villains. But,
it has some casualties.
Well, even then.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, that's kind of an interesting thing to have for the next movie, but yeah. It's doing its thing. You comic book people know exactly what it is. I'm not quite aware. I suppose that means we keep mentioning it, we might as well go into the after credit scene. On the way there, we were talking about it, and like I said, not much of a comics person as far as this is concerned.
Yeah.
So I actually told you before we even went in, it's like Thanos at the end of the Avengers. I was like, so we're going to watch the whole credit roll and wait for all that. And we're going to watch the scene that makes us go home and Wikipedia who the fuck that person was. And sure enough,
yep.
This person who is apparently a very big deal can move pyramids and shit. And has, like...
his telekinetic powers.
Yes. Above and beyond what Eric has.
Yes.
So, and apparently that was Apocalypse from our really, really quick research before we filmed this video.
Yes.
So...
the younger version of him.
Yeah. Yeah, because it said it wouldn't be the same, like, in the actual movie. Now, as far as people that return, I was a little put off by the credits as we were watching them go by at the end. So the whole movie happens. We have like Kitty Pryde and Storm, and Storm actually gets to do something in this.
Yeah, for once.
Storm is the most worthless character, the most worthless hero I think I've ever seen in a superhero movie. I think the only thing she got to do was, God help this scene, when she strikes Toad with lightning and says that line. I think it's the most she's ever done in one of them. So, she actually gets to do something. We have Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen on one side. We have Bobby and all of them. And some of the ones from The Last Stand, like the, God, I can't remember that guy's name, the guy that turns to metal.
Colossus?
Yes, him.
Colossus and Bishop and... Oh, it's so awesome.
This is the first movie we saw Bishop in.
Yes.
So
I've been waiting for that character for a while, actually.
You're basically wondering where the rest are. Scott is dead. Jean is dead again.
Yeah.
And Rogue is just nowhere to be found. The whole movie, I was kind of wondering, where's Rogue? Did I miss something? Are we going to get a little piece of dialogue? Where the fuck is Rogue?
No Nightcrawler either.
Yeah, I guess
Craziness.
Alan Cumming didn't get the memo or something. Regardless, the big question is who comes back. Because, like I said in the other video, there was this big rumor that got started that Halle Berry wasn't going to be in it. I think all the way up to its release, nobody knew if Marsden was in it or not.
Yeah.
So we have this big finish where he's back and everything's normal, everybody's alive because it's the next movie, nobody stays dead.
Nope.
The big exclusion to that was always you're always going to live in X-Men unless your name's Cyclops because nobody likes Cyclops. But, you know. So we have Marsden does show up, and Jean got a reaction out of that girl that was in there. And everybody's fine. Everybody's alive. We see... Okay. When you watch the credits go by, Anna Paquin is one of the main people credited.
Wow.
Maybe it's her... Is it True Blood? I think so. There's so many others. The guy from fucking The Right Kind of Wrong, too.
Yeah.
So, Anna Paquin is in the main credits. But the one time we see her in this movie, she walks out of a room, looks at Logan silently, and walks away with Bobby. It was like Elijah Wood in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, people are expecting you. You better just kind of walk in here and then leave. I'm pretty sure something didn't happen to her in between movies that I forgot about.
I think so.
So, because they had that stupid love triangle story with Kitty Pryde in the third movie that was completely fucking worthless, where they turned Rogue into, oh yeah, you like Kitty Pryde now? Well, I'm leaving. I'm gonna pack up my bags and leave the fucking school over this.
Yeah.
I can kill people when I touch them, or at least put them in a coma, but you liking Kitty Pryde, you skating with Kitty Pryde on your little fountain is gonna make me walk away. And last but not least, was that actually Kelsey Grammer in the makeup too?
That's what it looked like.
Okay.
At least from my vantage point, that's what it looked like.
Obviously, Current Beast walks by in a great cameo. Certainly sounds like Kelsey Grammer. I am not sure if they went through all the trouble of putting Kelsey Grammer in the makeup or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was some dude in makeup and they put like Kelsey Grammer's ADR on him. But regardless, the Beast from The Last Stand is in this movie for a second. And it's really nice. Much better than the last time we heard Kelsey Grammer's voice.
Yeah, no
If you didn't see the Legends of Oz review.
Oh, dear God.
So, yeah, there's still some stuff that's kind of left open. Once again, unless I'm forgetting something. And I could be totally off on when Origins is set. I don't think we're ever really actually given, a thing. But that also is interesting because if Origins is in 79, Cyclops is in school in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Cyclops isn't like Logan. He actually ages.
Yeah.
So, I don't think James Marsden was in school in 1979.
I don't think so.
So, yes. Also, I wanted to ask you this the whole movie, and I kept forgetting.
Alright.
I actually love this movie, so this isn't an insult in case you think it is, because a lot of people don't like this movie. But, when they were using Nixon, obviously, with the setting, you have to.
Yeah.
When they were using Nixon in the real settings, were you getting a Watchmen vibe?
Yeah, big time.
Okay. Just making sure I wasn't... I'm sure I'm not the only one, of course.
But when I think Nixon, I think Dan Hedaya, and I didn't get that.
That
sucked.
I really wish they brought Dana Day in back from Dick, but...
Yes.
Fine.
No Rebecca Romaine this time around either.
Yeah, I actually looked it up on her IMDb page to see if she was in it, and she's not. Which, I thought maybe they just hadn't updated it yet, but no, she's nowhere to be found.
No.
I guess technically they didn't need her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you'd think at least one... I mean, she had that cameo in First Class.
Yeah.
But,
literally in first class on the plane, so...
it was when they were, when Eric said that Raven wasn't old enough for him, and she's like, "Oh, am I old enough now?" And she morphed into Rebecca Romaine.
And you even see young Raven in this movie too. Like you see their young selves.
That was basically archive footage from First Class. So yeah, that's basically just the spoilery stuff. That's all this video is for.
Yeah.
Not really going much more into depth than we already did. So the movie is still fantastic. I still absolutely recommend it.
The F-bomb is still intact.
Yes, they bring back the same word. I started laughing, and then the guy down there started laughing, and then you started laughing, because he was like, wait, I remember you now. And I was like, oh, he's going to bring the line back.
Yeah, he is.
He actually said it differently, though. Wolverine says, go fuck yourself, and Charles told him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Still was just as great.
Got a tremendous reaction when we saw the movie theatrically.
I'd love to see the reaction I've seen in a crowded theater. We didn't have many people in ours because we saw the very first showing. So, yes, that was awesome.
Very much so.
It was nice. There were a few times where, even though I'm not the biggest fan of these movies, that there were scenes that made me go like, oh my god, they did that. That's awesome. This is the first time ever I've actually like fanboyed at an X-Men movie. So, that's another great accomplishment for it.
Seeing Omar Sy on the big screen again was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, that's...
Still haven't seen my favorite X-Men character yet, though. I was a big mark for Jubilee, actually. I still hasn't even been referenced in any of the movies. Well, I think actually might have been referenced in like an older X-Men movie.
Is Apocalypse supposed to be the movie where Channing Tatum is Gambit?
Yes. I have no issues with this. I don't know why other people do.
Well, if Can's any indication, he may be Academy Award nominee Channing Tatum by then.
There's a good possibility that's going to be the case.
As long as Sony doesn't run him in lead.
Yeah.
But now we're on a totally different thing that doesn't come in until about September. So.
Yes.
And I'm almost positive people watching the spoiler video for X-Men give a fucking shit about that. So.
Yeah. But it's a great film. I mean, everything, like, they tie up a lot of loose ends, but there's a lot of things that are still left unspoken.
Yeah. That could be stuff they just let go because it's not that important, but... If the whole point was to use the time travel thing to set it up. Or maybe there's always the possibility that it was just, you know, the whole ripple effect of just changing one thing changes a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, like Eric and Mystique giving themselves up, and then the next thing you know, he wakes up at the gifted school, and everything's back to normal again.
Emma Frost being in Origins is still baffling, though.
Yeah.
Because she's January Jones in First Class, and she's just a little student girl in Origins, which is supposed to be, like... 15 years later.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. With more viewings and people yelling shit at me, I'm sure I will figure it all out as time goes.
Well, it's like Felicia's not Black Cat yet in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but she eventually will be.
Mm-hmm.
So. Alright.
So, that's it for this.
So ends another spoiler alert. Join us yet again. I don't know exactly when the next one's going to be, but I promise you I will let you know.